Shout out to Money Brown, man. Errol Spence Jr. My boy Money Brown, he get a lot of money, that's why I call him Money Brown.
What's good, Money Brown TV? What up, what up?
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Money Brown TV. Thank you so much for everything.
Hey, this is Ryan Garcia here. Shout out to Money Brown TV and keep punching, baby.
Yo, what's going on out there, fight world? It's your boy Money back with another one, man. And this one here is on the 3-division world champion, the former undisputed world champion at 140 pounds, and the current WBO welterweight world champion, Terrence T-Bud Crawford. Now, we all know Crawford's one of the most baddest motherfuckers on the planet. You know, arguably the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on a lot of people's lists. You know, all the skills, all the tools in the world, excited in the ring, you know, et cetera, et cetera. We can go on about his accolades. But everybody want to see Terrence Bud Crawford in the ring with Errol the True Spence Jr., right? I'm not mad at you. It's arguably the biggest fight at 147 pounds. But this is the deal. Bud don't want to accept the 60-40. You know, he feel like he's worth 50-50. But business shows that he's not worth 50-50. This is just a fact. The business shows that Terrence Bud Crawford is not worth 50-50 against Errol Spence Jr. So, now we at a point where if Bud do not face Errol Spence Jr., you know, he have 3 solid, credible opponents out there that he can face, right? And he can still come back to Errol Spence Jr. after that fight. But now, the 3 solid opponents that he can face will add on to his legacy. It would be arguably the biggest name on his resume, you know, up to this date. You feel me? And people can stop saying, you know, Bud is not fighting anyone. He need to put somebody in the ring that's very credible. You know what I mean? So he can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let me just say that. He can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Now, Mikey Garcia, Keith Thurman, Showtime Shawn Porter. I'm going to repeat, family. Mikey Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Showtime Shawn Porter. These are 3 credible names that he can face if he do not face Errol Spence Jr. next. It doesn't look like he's going to face Errol Spence Jr. next, in my opinion, and it damn sure look like he's not facing Manny Pacquiao next, right? So Mikey Garcia has came out, and I got a video out on this, and said he will face Terrence Bud Crawford. He will face him, right? Now, I heard from my brother Keon that he said, Mikey said that he have to leave Bob Earn before he face him. But I'm quite sure, sorry, if they come to the right agreement with the money in that situation, that, you know, Mikey will face him under the Top Rank banner. Mikey is a businessman. He want to get his biggest bang for his buck. And him and Terrence Bud Crawford is one hell of a fight. One hell of a fight. You know, Mikey lost to Errol Spence, but he also redeemed himself by coming back and beating Jesse Vargas, right? Mikey is a 4-division world champion. He's very creditable. Everyone wanted to see Mikey and Bud at 140. If I'm not mistaken, before Bud came up, Mikey had moved up to 140, became world champion. And Bud said if he want to face me, he have to come to 147 pounds. Well, everyone, Mikey Garcia is at 147 pounds. Understand what I'm saying? So that makes for one hell of a fight. I like the fight. I think it'll do good on pay-per-view for Terrence Bud Crawford. I think that fight will give him his biggest pay-per-view numbers, you know, over Amir Khan and against Victor Postal, right? And it'll do good for Bud, man. It'll do wonders for him. You feel me? And it'll be a hell of a fight, like I said. I would pick Bud to beat him, right? A lot of people think Bud will stop Mikey. I don't know if he stopped Mikey, but I damn sure pick him to beat him. I damn sure pick him to beat him. You feel me? Mikey is a credible opponent. He's very smart in the ring. He's not just going to lay down for you at all. You're going to have to work for it, right? Schooled by his brother and his pops. So Mikey built for it. He built for it, you know. He just lost his mother. You know, the Garcias, they lost, you know, the mother. And my condolences goes out to Mikey, Robert, and to the Big G, you know, and to the other brothers and the sisters and the family. I know that's a devastating loss, and you know, it's kind of taking a toll on him. We see Mikey, he up in weight. So we know it's kind of hitting him hard. You feel me? It's kind of hitting him hard. But I wish him and his family nothing but the best, you know, through this tragic situation. And we all know time heals everything, but it's going to take some time, for that wound to heal because that's mama. You know what I mean? You only get one mama, one daddy. And once you lose those, it hurts. It hurts. But, Mikey is very credible, man. So Bud can get recognition from Mikey, right? Keith Thurman has came out, went on a rant, said fuck Bob Erm. Bob ass too cheap. He need to open up his wallet. And if you want a credible opponent for Terrence Crawford, he needs to pay what they weigh. You understand? Now, everybody know the last thing that we heard on Thurman and Crawford is, Thurman puts the ask for $10 million. But he said, he don't need the $10 million, but he do want to be respected, right? So, in other words, he's saying, we can fight. I will fight Terrence Crawford, right? But Bob has to put some respect on the checkbook. It don't have to be $10 million, but you have to put respect on the checkbook, right? And we all know Thurman just came off the pay-per-view with Manny Pacquiao, and I know he made $10 million. I know he made $10 million. So he's telling Bob, okay, you don't have to give me the 10 that I got for Pac, but you do have to at least come with at least 5. You have to come with at least 5, bro. And that's fair. That's fair, you feel me? Because if you put Thurman and Bud on pay-per-view, it's going to sell. It's going to sell. And just like I said with Mikey, if you fight Thurman on pay-per-view, it's going to be as big as numbers since Amir Khan and fucking Victor Postal. But Keith Thurman is willing to face Terrence Crawford. One hell of a fight. Nobody has beat Thurman in a little circle yet. When you talk about the Errol, the Thurman, the Porter, the Danny, the Bud, you know what I'm saying? Nobody has beat Thurman yet, but we know Thurman beat Shawn and Danny. So if Bud can get him before Errol Spence get him, guess what? Recognition on Bud name. Recognition on Bud name. You feel me? On pay-per-view, you might even up the dosage a little bit for the negotiation table, right? So you have to try to get somebody like a Keith Thurman in the ring. You have to tell your promoter and Bob Erm, you have to start paying these dudes what they work because they work with Al Heyman. Al Heyman is teaching them the game. You feel me? He's teaching them the game and letting them know what they work. When people see $2 million on their contract or 1 point something on their contract, don't fall into the stupid shit thinking that's all them dudes get. Don't fall into it, right? We know the numbers are bigger. If you listen and read in between the lines, they tell you every time. They tell you every time, right? So Keith Thurman, one hell of a fight for Terrence Crawford. We know it'll be competitive, right? Very competitive, and it's another way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can shut up the people's mouths. You can go get your pay-per-view numbers up. And if you go out there and knock them out, it's fucking credibility. Or if you beat the shit out of them, it's damn sure credibility. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look into these kind of fights. We know they're trying to bring up Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. But Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor ain't more credible than neither one of these dudes right here. Neither one. Right? Keith Thurman is a former unified welterweight champion. Valid at welterweight. We're not talking about a Taylor or Ramirez just coming up to welterweight. We're talking about valid, credible welterweights. You feel me? Very credible. Mikey Garcia, we already know his story, like I said. But if you go in there and beat a Keith Thurman, dog, beat a Keith Thurman at his best, oh man, history book still. History book still. You still making history, but you're still making a point at 147. And I favor Bud to beat Keith Thurman. I think Bud is smarter. But in the first 6 rounds, it's going to be dangerous for Bud. It's going to be dangerous because Keith Thurman is dangerous to anybody in the first 6 rounds. I continue to say that. I believe he's a front runner, right? But he's smart enough to try to box his way through the rest. Some front runners, they gas out and they just try to bang it out. But Keith Thurman, he can box a little bit. I ain't going to say a little bit. He can actually box. And he try to box his way through the second half of the fight, especially if he up on the cause. If you win 7 rounds, he start trying to box your ass if he can't get you out of there. So Keith Thurman has came out. He cussed your promoter out, no doubt about it. We know that's going to make Bud feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, it's business, man. It's business. Put the personal feelings to the side and do business. You feel me? Do business. Thurman said, it's not my fault that I'm still more popular than your undefeated, you know what I mean, welterweight champion. And he got some truth to that, dog. He got some truth to that because Bob is not promoting him. Thurman said he liked Bud. He's a hell of a fighter. He respect him, right? But he told the truth about Bob Erm not doing his job with Terrence Crawford. He kept it real on that shit. As much as I say Thurman be on a lot of bullshit, He kept it real on talking about Bud Crawford and Bob Arum. You feel me? But a lot of people go shit on Thurman. Oh, he just hating. He's saying this. He's saying that. But he actually be telling the truth. You know? Said shit corny as fuck. He corny as hell trying to sound tough, but, you know, it's the truth. Whether you like it or not, the truth don't need no support. No matter who's telling it. The truth is the truth. So if he go face Thurman, that is another hell of a fight. And last but not least, Showtime Shawn Porter, his mandatory. Shawn Porter is very credible for Bud. We don't want to hear, oh, he didn't want to fight me when he didn't have a title, none of that shit. You feel me? We're keeping that same energy with ESJ too. We don't want to hear that about Thurman if Thurman is a challenge right there. But Terrence Bud Crawford versus Shawn Porter, it looked like looked like that can be the next fight because we all know Porter is his mandatory. That's his mandatory, you know, and it's a hell of a fight. We know Porter's gonna push him. A lot of y'all saying Bud is gonna knock out Porter. He gonna knock him out. Porter don't stand a chance. Da 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 this, da 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 that. Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Let Porter and Bud get into that ring. Porter, you know, gave Errol Spence a hell of a fight. I had Errol win an 8-4, but nonetheless, let's see if Terrence Bud Crawford can go in there and beat that man worse than Errol Spence beat him. And if he do, he make a fucking statement. He make a statement, right? He make a statement. And we know Porter rough and tough style is going to cause Bud some problems. Porter came out and told him, you're not going to have time to think. You better know if you want to fight orthodox or southpaw. Because once that bell go ding ding, I'm on your ass, man. I'm on your ass, man. And that's what Porter telling Bud. And Bud telling Porter, activate your motherfucking mandatory thing. You know, activate the clause. You the mandatory, right? Go ahead and activate your mandatory. And let's see what happens. So, Porter is looking like the most valid opponent out of the three. Because like I said, he got the mandatory sitting right there. We know Thurman got to come back. We know Mikey is over there in talks with a few people, but he came out and said he'll fight. But Porter looking like he ready. You know, he talked the most shit, said he want Bud over Errol in the summertime. Bud said he want him. You feel what I'm saying? But they try to offer him $1 million. So they got to come to the table with more than $1 million. They have to come to the table with more than $1 million. Because Porter not fit to just fight for no $1 million. That's a fact. He's just not fit to fight for $1 million. It goes back to what Keith Thurman was saying about Bob and the checkbook. Bob got to open up that goddamn checkbook. But with Bud having only one more fight on Top Rank, who knows? Bob probably just saying, fuck Bud, let him go fight anybody. Send him on his way. He can do what he want to do. I lost money on him. I don't have time to waste with him anymore. And that's how Bob probably thinking. So it's going to come to Terrence Bud Crawford to get out here and make one of these fights happen, to talk to his promoter to make one of these fights happen next. You feel me? Or maybe he just said, I want to leave and go somewhere else and then get the big fights and keep all the money in my pocket and not get Bud shit else. But I don't think that's his mindset. I don't think that's the mindset because they were trying to sit down with Bob and hash all that shit out. You feel me? So we'll just see what goes on. But these are three credible opponents for Terrence Bud Crawford to face next if it's no Errol Spence. If it's no Errol Spence. You know, like I said, Porter looking like the most, the one that's in the front right now. He's the front runner. A lot of people saying, oh, well, y'all want him to fight Porter and not Errol. If he don't fight Errol, you know, these are the credible opponents. He can shut people's mouth. He can quiet the naysayers. He can kick the haters up their ass. All he got to do is beat one. And like I say, it looks good at the negotiation table, assuming Errol only come with the 2 scraps and not 3. You feel me? If he come with the 2 scraps and not 3. But I'd like to see Bud face either one of these dudes. You know, if it go on pay-per-view, I will pay for it. Terrence Bud Crawford, you need to think about it, champ. You need to think about it. No more of them other fighters. One of these 3. If no Errol Spence, if no Manny Pacquiao, you and your team need to make it happen. And people need to be real with you, bro. I favor you to whoop all 3 of these boys, but nonetheless, you have to show us. You have to show us. I don't think you knock none of them out. I think you go 12 rounds, but I do favor you over all 3, champ. I favor you over all 3 head into an Errol Spence big pay-per-view showdown. You know, much respect to Terrence Bud Crawford. Much respect to Mikey, Thurman, and Porter. Let's just see what happens in the future. Like I said, 2021 can be a great fucking year for boxing. We just gotta see if they make the fights. Until then, this your boy Monty. This the NSBC, moving anybody safe in these streets. Hit them thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to donate. OG Money on Cash App. TreyAfter52 at gmail.com on PayPal. If you can't, just tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share the video, and y'all know how I get down. Big dog status.